Well, hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Your Life, Your Story. Rise up. I am your host, Jill O'Boyle, and I am so excited that you are here today and taking the time to listen to this podcast. I know that you have so many options in this podcast world, so the fact that you landed here is just a joy in my heart. So thank you for being here. So today, what I would love to do is to open up with a question. And that question is, have you ever felt stuck? Like your job is just draining your energy instead of fueling it. And so if you answered yes to that question, I want you to know that you're not alone. Like our guest today is going to share with you a incredible statistic. And that is that 75% of employees are disengaged currently at their work. 75%. So today you're going to have the pleasure of hearing from Melissa St. John, the CEO of Relocation Strategies. She brings over 30 years of experience in interior design, space planning, and workplace strategy. Melissa is recognized as a thought leader. She's recognized as a thought leader and an advocate for women in business who has transformed her firm from a move management company into a full service design and project management consultancy. So known for her contagious energy and passion for workplace happiness, Melissa frequently speaks on leadership, growth, and employee engagement. She believes that when you align your passions with your strengths, work stops feeling like work and starts feeling like fulfillment. So today we're going to dive into her proven 5 pillars of workplace happiness, how your environment, your relationships impact your day-to-day joy, and practical steps that you can take to truly choose you in your career. So without further ado, Melissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jill. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to get to know you better. I've really enjoyed learning and listening to your podcast and what you're doing, and I think it's amazing.
Yes. Well, I'm excited to dive in as well. I always believe in like divine connections. And so I love that we had a mutual friend and I got to sit next to you at a women's networking event. And so as the conversation just generally unfolded and you were like, I would love to come on the podcast. And we talked about what you might talk about. I'm like, okay, you speak like what I love to speak about. Like, so this is going to be a great conversation for the listeners. I know there's a lot of high achieving women that listen to this podcast. So I'm just excited for myself to grow and learn with you today, as well as the listeners. So I want to go back to that statistic. Like when you sent that over across email, that 75% of employees are disengaged at work. It just like, I mean, I was just taken back. And so I want to talk about like, oh my gosh, this is huge. So talk to me about this statistic. How did you come across it and what did that mean personally to you as you kind of read that?
I've been trying to expand my knowledge base, not just to know what I know, but I've gone to SHRM, Society for HR Managers. I've gone to the Indiana State Chamber HR conferences, just trying to learn more about what are HR people dealing with. And it was shocking to me. So it is the highest number it has ever been in the history of work. And I just really wanted to dive into that as to why.
Yes. Yeah.
And how do we fix this? And we as human beings don't want to be unhappy. We don't want to be disengaged. I mean, and so it perplexes me. And I just really need to understand the why and then how to fix it. How can we fix it?
Yes. Yes. So in your own kind of career journey, was there something that made you so passionate? You know, because I can tell that you're passionate about it, like the why. I am too. I'm like, and I know we're going to get into a little bit of that. But was there something about your career journey that made you passionate about just helping others and seeing this need for happiness in the workplace?
So 1000% I'm giving credit to my dad. My dad was, I tell people, a shrink. Okay, so I grew up my whole life with free head shrinking. I say that very, jokingly, but when my dad was raising me, well, I have a mother as well, but my mom's not a shrink. So anyway, my dad would sit me down at a very young age and he would say, what gets you excited? What makes you tick? What do you want to do, today? Or, and I'd say, you know what? I want to take painting lessons. So he drove me out in the country to Gladys Flynn's house, and I had painting lessons. And you know what? That made me happy. And you know what? I had brothers, I had a sister. They did other things. My brother played the saxophone, but he always was very interested in what gets you excited, what makes you happy. So when it came time to choose a career, we went through all the things that could possibly be done that I would be passionate about. I would be happy. I'd go into work every day and it would not be a job. So I have to say, I am so beyond blessed
Yes.
that my dad embedded that into my brain. And I thought it was normal. I thought all dads said that to their kids.
Sure.
And so when I went to go pick out my job, he was like, well, why don't you shadow a couple places and see if you like it? And so we had a family friend and they were interior designers. And I went and I worked in their store for a day. And I said, oh my gosh, they love colors. They love workplaces. They love talking to their clients. I'm like, that's what I want to be. And it was so easy because I'm a, design mind. I like space. I'm very spatial. I used to, arrange my room. And so that's what I went to school for. And I went to Purdue for interior design. And again, I probably walked up and down the halls and the streets of Purdue, and it felt like, 9 out of 10 people there were guys in engineering. And here I'm taking interior design, but they did have interior design, and that's what I wanted. So that's what I did.
That's incredible. And what a blessing to have a mentor like that, a mentor that is your dad, to guide you into thinking about, what do you, Melissa, personally love to do? What lights you up? I wish so many more people would take that path, versus hey, I did this, you should follow my path, right? You should do this because that's what our family does. Or we had the family business, you should follow in the footsteps. I think there's so many times.
They pick it for the money. They pick it for the money. That's what you didn't mention. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people with their kids, they'll say, oh, what makes the most money? And you know what? That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be happy.
That's right.
So I chose what I was passionate about. And guess what? The money comes. Yeah. If you're happy and you're, doing great things and you are changing people's lives and their workplaces, the money will come. But I will be honest, I was very thin and starving. I was a starving artist because I feel like, the first few years I had no money and I charged everything on a credit card. I remember my parents were so mad at me because I went and bought a new bedroom set from Kittles, and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I have to have a bedroom set that's nice.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't afford that. And I go, I know I can't. But I did marry an engineer. And
there you go. Working out. Here's all my debt, honey. Here's my debt.
He was an engineer, so long story. But anyway.
No, I love that.
You do need to have a little help. And if you're going to go after your passion, you do have to think about how's it going to feed you.
Yes.
So I knew that once I got married and we had 2 incomes, I'd really be able to follow my passion.
I love that. One of my coaches, when a few years ago, she said, follow the breadcrumbs of joy. And I've always had that visual of, like, honestly, it is like when you follow the breadcrumbs of joy, the doors just do keep opening for you. And it may take a little bit, but if you're passionate about what you love, money can't buy happiness, but the fulfillment will come. The bread will come, and maybe that spouse that can also help you along the way too. Like, that's excellent.
Yeah. And that's, again, I believe that marriage, you're a team, and that's what it's all about.
That's right. That's right. So let's talk a little bit about your company, Relocation Strategies. So you help organizations kind of rethink their workplace to truly meet the needs of their staff. So you talk about physical office space. Like, talk to us a little bit about how that impacts the productivity, the engagement. We talked about that statistic of being disengaged at work. So I would love to hear how you bring this all together in this realm of happiness at work, productivity at work, your mood at work.
Sure. So I feel like if I had a little marker board, I would draw you an equation like I'm a professor, because I've done so much research on this. And the only way that I feel like visually that I could explain this, pretend like I'm writing this on a marker board, employee engagement plus productivity plus innovation equals profit. And so I have seen companies that if they work on their employee engagement, then people become more profitable. And if they become more profitable as, company, they're going to be more productive. All these things are like intertwined. It's like a math problem. And if you take one out, it doesn't add up. So, the workplace is so important. It's the foundation of our culture, okay? And where you work and who you're with and what you see. And just, you think about all the senses and how, let's say, yes, it's still the number one cause why people quit is the boss. Well, I can't control that. I'm not a boss consultant, but I can help with the space. And, when people walk into a space, they make 11 impressions in 7 seconds. So if you as a company are trying to attract people, there's a term out there, it's called ghosting. They walk in and they're like, oh my gosh, this place, it's dark or it smells or the carpet's all ratty and the waiting room chair has a rip in it or whatever. I mean, that turns people off, and some people just ghost and they just walk right out.
Yeah.
So it's even like, I don't mean to bring dating into this, but it's like dating. You make 11 impressions in 7 seconds. So if you want somebody to come in and interview at your company, you have to have a space that's nice. You have to have it clean. You have to have it well lit. So we want to help with all of those things. And again, I'm not selling employee engagement. I feel like what I'm doing is I'm solving the problem of getting people to want to go into the office, go into work, have more happiness. And that's the physical office space. So that's what my firm does. With the design, we help with the arranging of furniture. We help with, adding walls or tearing down walls. And it's so fun because I love to get the quote at the end of the project where the CEO, the CFO, I even sent a survey out to a lot of our clients and said, after we worked with you, what percentage did your employee engagement and productivity go up? Yeah. And our average number, Jill, is 25%.
Wow.
That it went up because we made their
incredible.
We made it what they needed it to be. It's a reflection of their business. It needs to inspire people. It needs to motivate people. It needs to be healthy. It needs to, well-being. A lot of people are saying, plants make people feel more, at home. And I'm going to throw some words out to you. And again, I'm writing it on the marker board, but I want you to think of residential plus commercial. What are those two together? The word is called residential. And what that means is we're trying to bring more at home into the office. Looking behind you and I can see plants, I can see natural light, I can see calm, cool colors. That's residential. And you know what? It makes people feel at home. So after everybody went home for COVID, they didn't want to go back to the office because it was cold, the lights were bright, and there were no plants, and there were no soft, cushy seats, and all the young people were just sitting on their sofa, crisscross applesauce, doing their laptop, and they're like, there's no sofas around here. Everything was just hard conference tables. And so, we even at our office, we took our conference room, we took the conference table out, all the conference room chairs out, and now we call it our living room because we put in a big L-shaped sofa with an ottoman and a TV and a lounge chair. And you know what? It can be both like a review room, just a meeting room. It can be a nursing room. It could be a quiet room. You lock the door, but do not disturb. But we just need more residential.
I love that.
Makes people feel comforted. You know what I mean? Like they're not coming back into shock of.
Yes. That stale office environment. Yes. Yeah.
Well, let's just say you don't want to be there. You don't want to be there. Yeah. And if you don't want to be there, you're disengaged. Yeah. And if you're disengaged, it means you could get a text that day and it says, hey, I'm a headhunter. I'm looking for so-and-so and I'll pay you 10 grand more. Oh, how many times do people go click? I'm gone. They go resign that day because they're having it.
Wow.
So as employers, as coworkers, as a country, people have to want to work and be in an office. It's not healthy for all these people to work from home all the time.
I agree with that.
I understand part-time. I understand hybrid. Hybrid, I think, is the best thing ever. And the number one question I get, Jill, is do you think we're going back? Do you think everyone will go back into the office? It's absolutely not. People love hybrid.
I agree.
Taking a day and I'm in my pajamas all day and I'm going to bang out
Yeah.
typing work all day or research all day because I need quiet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
I
I
mean,
think
it's
it'll,
on and on. I seriously could do like a 4-hour podcast.
oh, I get fired up about this stuff too, because I also think like that is also allowing your employers to just feel some ownership and accountability that you're going to
Yeah.
trust that, hey, I am at home, but I'm accountable to get my stuff done in the time frame of a work day, even though I might throw in laundry during lunch, right? Like you're giving people that flexibility. But I also agree with you. My husband and I both own, two businesses. And so we both work out of our home. But from coming from corporate, I was in corporate, up until the last 3 years of when I started this business. I am very external, like outgoing person. And so like I have to make those intentional networking things. I set up coffee because just staying here isolated in my house does no good for
It's not,
anybody. It's not gonna be good for my clients either.
but you're also bringing me into your home through
Right.
this technology.
That's
So
right.
you're not really sitting home alone. But just from meeting you at that women's networking, you go out and go about and go places. And so you are a hybrid worker.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I'm gonna start using
Yeah,
that. I'm a hybrid worker. So let's talk about
you are. You are.
yeah. Let's talk about choosing you. So in your bio, you mentioned like choosing you, like do what you love, don't settle. Like I love how your dad kind of engraved that into you from just that young age. So how do you help? Let's help the listener right here. How do people even start to figure out what they're passionate about? What are the things that they love? What could be a career path for them if they're feeling completely stuck right now? What's some thoughts that you have?
For sure. And I will give you the best advice that I was ever given in my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
When it was time for me to switch jobs, when everyone knows when you're like, okay, it's time, I need to do something else, I need to pivot. I sent out resumes and I applied to some jobs. And I'm not bragging, I'm just saying fact, but this was a long time ago. This when there was tons and tons of jobs out there.
Right.
But anyway, I got 3 offers, okay? I got 3 offers. And they were very, very different jobs, okay? One was an interior design firm, one was working at a furniture dealership, and the other one was working at Relocation Strategies. And I was so torn, I did not know how to make a decision. And so this is the best advice I ever got. I did not get this from my dad. I got it from a therapist because I went to a therapist and
Yeah.
said, I need help because I just am so confused. She said, what I want you to do, and I say this in my public speaking, is I want you to go lock yourself in a room,
Mm-hmm.
no technology, no noise, and literally plan like an hour. And I know that's a long time, but literally take paper in there, and I want you to journal for an hour of uninterrupted. And you're going to have 1 page of all the things that make you happy,
Mm-hmm.
all the things that make you happy. I mean, for me, it was art, it was people, it was, go down the list. And then you're going to all things that frustrate you. Like, I'll tell you for me, I don't like mosquitoes. I don't like hiking. I don't
Same.
like bugs. I mean, like, I don't want an outside job. So you're thinking of all the things that make you frustrated or angry and all the things that make you happy. Then she said, in your last job, I want you to make a list of all the things you loved that you did at work, all the
Mm-hmm.
tasks that you loved. I'm like, oh, well, I really liked it when I had appointments with people because I'm a people person.
Yep.
Oh, I liked when I could do this. And then all the things you didn't like about your job. But literally what you're doing is you're pulling it out of
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And then once you take the list of all the things that you love, for me, it was art, it was people, it was talking. I get paid to talk. I need a
Right.
job that I can talk. I can't sit and be an entry
No.
person all day.
Yeah.
And so then the tasks that I loved and just went through. And then the last part of it were like, what are your bonus things? And for me, I ranked the bonus things. And you know what the bonus things for me were? The boss. The boss was one. And then number two, it was where was I at in my life? What do I need?
Mm.
And do you know what I needed? I needed flexibility.
Yep.
And so, you know what? I had to choose a job. And so I had heard, I'm not going to mention who it is, but I heard that interior design firm that I was going to, they had a time clock and they would check people in and check people out. And it was very stringent on where you were going, what you did. And then the other place, it was more of a commission. It was at a furniture dealership. And I was like, I am a single mom and I can't be yanked and pulled. And what if my kid is sick? And that was like my bonus list. And if I can have all these things and the bonus list, I needed flexibility.
Right.
So I chose Relocation Strategies as the job. And this was 18 years ago. I took a job at Relocation Strategies. People think I started the company, but I didn't, Jill. I worked for my boss.
Okay.
I loved him. He was so kind and so generous and gentle and teaching. And he said, you know what? We don't keep timesheets here. He goes, I trust my employees. He goes, you go do what you're supposed to do. Come back. I pay you. He was old school.
Yeah.
And you know what? He never had a contract with a client. David Bayes never even had a contract. He handshook with everyone. And so I was blown away. I'd never met anyone like this, but I was like, I got my bonus list. I got the list I love. I got the tasks I love. This is it. So I didn't even hesitate. And then lastly, you know what? People ask me the number one question is, what was the money from those 3 jobs? I was like, you know what? The money was similar. It was similar. There wasn't one that was way, way more. They were similar. But I was so happy. I took this job, almost 19 years ago, and I was so happy and I thrived and I loved what I did because of those lists.
Yes.
Those lists. And I call them my non-negotiables.
Yep.
And, long story short, which I don't know if you knew this, but he asked me a year and a half later to buy his business.
That is incredible. Oh my gosh. Talk about an amazing opportunity.
The world would have thought I would be a business owner. People all think I grew up and I wanted to do this my whole life. No. I know.
Right.
My parents never said you need to be a business owner. My parents weren't business owners. My mom told me not to do it. My mom was like, no, don't buy it. Don't buy it. She goes, she's a school teacher and she's like, don't buy it. She goes, it's too risky. It's too scary. It's too dangerous. She was a mom with 2 little kids. I was divorced.
Okay.
So I just pushed all my chips in, Jill, pushed them all in. I got a home equity credit on my house. I paid him a deposit and boom, my mom about had a heart attack.
I bet she did. And good on you to go in deep and really think about what is the best interest for me, not what my parents say, not what my friends say, not what anybody else says. How do I feel about this decision? Because I think so many times what I have found is people do know exactly what they love. They do know what they would do, and they let the opinions of others and fear and security and safety rob them from that joy. So amazing. And look, how long ago was that for you?
It was in 2007 that I bought the business.
Yeah. And you're still going strong. Here you are.
And all this that I've learned through the years, I've been so thirsty to learn. And I have to throw this statistic in there that if people do like their office, they are 33% more engaged. I have all these statistics. I have my little cheat sheet here because I have PowerPoints. I've done this presentation. And it's just shocking to me, but it's all interconnected.
It is.
So I literally went and took public speaking classes because I wanted to create a speech that was all about workplace happiness and how it combines all of this into a little nugget, because it's not just the workplace. It's doing the things you love. It's doing the people you work with, the boss. I mean, it's all combined. And if you can have all that and your little bonus list,
heck yeah,
you're set. You are set. There's no reason why you're not going to just knock it out of the park.
Right. Exactly. So let's talk about this public speaking. So one of your things that you go out and you talk about and do some speaking on is these 5 pillars of workplace happiness. So you say it's a happiness formula in 5 digestible steps. So would you mind walking us through what is this? What is this happiness formula? Everybody that's listening right now, get out your journals or come back if you're driving and sit down and probably write these down. I've got my notebook right here. I'm ready to go.
Again, this is me just making this up because, again, I've done a lot of research and I've just combined all these things. So going back to my dad, again, you have to understand, how do you know what your strengths are? So I don't know how many of your listeners, I don't know if you have done your strength finder test.
Yes.
I literally have every one of my employees get
Good
strength
for
finder
you.
tested
Yeah.
because I want them to know and I want to know.
Yep.
And how we all work together is based on their strengths. So, I mean, I have someone in my office. She has 3 categories of strategy. Guess who I have help me with my
Right.
strategic plan? Her.
Of
I have
course.
one employee on my list. So I'm saying the number one formula, the number one is to unleash your strengths. So meaning like, A, you got to know what they are, but
For
then
sure.
how do you unleash them? How do you use them? So again, I have my employees all using their strengths because I know what they are. And I tell them, they get all the results. And I say, you know what? You are a relationship builder. You have 3 checks. Like there's 32 strengths. And I think it's 1 out of 33 million people is going to have your same top 5 strengths. That is how unique we are. And I know you believe in, Christianity and God, and I believe firmly that God made every single person different. So no one has the same strengths. Maybe
That's right.
1 in 100 million, whatever. It's a humongous 33 million. 1 out of 33 million have the similar top 5 strengths. They may not be in the same order. So I have an employee that she's a relationship builder. Well, guess what? I love putting her out with the client and she
Yes.
sits with the client and what do you need and she loves that and it makes her happy.
Yes.
So I have someone who's not as much as a relationship builder. She wants to sit at the desk and she wants to just crank out drawings and do the AutoCAD and do the layouts. So again, number 1, unleash your strengths.
Love
Number
it.
2, the second one is once you know your strengths, blend it with your passion. Because there's a difference between strengths and passion. So when you know your passion, like so for instance, I have, 2 or 3 charities that I'm passionate about. I am passionate about women's charities, I'm passionate about the Heart Association, I'm passionate about. So when I think about these passions, how can I combine? So, you know what? I sign up, I'm walking in the Heart Walk. I was the highest raising fundraiser and gathering people to walk in the Heart Walk, so I did that for many years and now I was on the executive leadership team for the Heart Ball. So combining with your passion, whatever your passion is, I'd bring people into my office and they work for me, but I'd say, what is your passion? And I literally had somebody say to me, I love baking. I love cooking. And I said, you work here. How can we incorporate that into your job? And so I literally said to her, I said, why doesn't Relocation Strategies pay you to do all the birthdays for everyone, where you make the cake, you make this? I go, when we have lunches, when we have strategic planning, why don't I pay you to cater it all in and you bring in your best, your best desserts, your best food, and you should see her light up like a firecracker. How much do you think she wants to come into work every single day and contribute and be a part of a team because she's incorporating her passions into her work?
Right. I mean, and you're doing what she loves, right? You're paying me to do what I love? What?
Yes. Yes. And so there's someone else I work with and she makes candles and I'm like, well, you know what? I go, my son is getting married. It was in May. I go, can you make some really cool candles and I'll buy that from you for his wedding gift.
Wow.
So do you see how
Yeah.
I as the boss try so hard to just
I love
have
that.
everyone feel, and again, when I say the word feel, touchy feely, I'm glad your listeners are women.
Yeah.
But my dad taught me that it's so important to have people be connected and to have value and to have, another word is psychological safety.
Yep.
In my office, I have the psychological safety where somebody can say, I think we should do this. And you know what? If I don't agree, I say, well, tell me more about that. Tell me why. Give me reasons. I'm not going to say no. So the psychological safety, they all know that their opinions matter.
That's so important.
The number one reason is people quit as the boss. I think that there's a huge part of the disengagement because people don't listen to them.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
they can't be heard. They don't have their passions. So unleash your strengths, blend with your passion. Number 3, this is super easy. Who you work with is so important.
Yes.
Who you work with, who. And so again, do you have coworkers? Do you have teammates that you guys talk about your weekend, can talk about, a situation that you're having. Do you have a bond with someone?
Right.
And so if it goes back to, I'll give you a statistic. If 50% of Americans right now, if their boss will let them, half of Americans are not going in full time. They may even go in one day a week.
Yeah.
They may go one day a month, but 50% of Americans are not going in every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you know what I correlate that with? Again, this is Melissa's hypothesis.
I like it.
But 50% of people are introverts, Jill.
Mm.
Did you know?
Yeah, I believe it.
So I have a friend, Sue. She is an introvert. She has worked at a very large global company for 30 years, and she works from home every single day. And I said, what do we have to do to get you to want to go into the office? She goes, I hate people. And I go, you hate people? She goes, I hate people. She goes, I don't want to go in. I said, well, do you care about training the younger generation and like doing a brain dump and helping them learn what you know? And she says, I absolutely don't. So I'm like, okay, she's unsavable. So again, you really have to wonder, we got 5 different generations working in the office space. Generation Z, they want to go in because they need community.
They do. Yes.
During
yes.
COVID, there were so many young people that were so depressed because they were at home and they only had a 1-bedroom apartment and they were so lonely.
Yeah.
They needed community. So they want to go in. And I remember talking to a young person. When I say young person, she was like 24. And she goes, we haven't gone in the office for 2 years. I've been working from home. And she's like, I kind of want to kill myself. She goes, I hate my life. And I said, well, you need to find a company that you can go in and have your connection, vibration, your learning. People just are thirsty for that, unless they're my friend Sue and they hate people. If she's listening, she's going to kill me. But there are people like that. But you know what? That's okay. Let them be. Let them stay at home.
Yep.
Ponytail and no makeup every day and sweatpants. And you know what? She's happy as clown. That's fine.
Okay.
But I think the rest of the 50% of us need people.
We do.
And so that's why when people say, are we going back to the way it was? Well, if you make that person, if you make Sue go back to the office 5 days a week, if you make her go back 3 days a week,
Sue.
Sue's quitting.
That's right. Yeah.
So you got to have metrics. I don't want to get into metrics, but you got to have KPIs and metrics that Sue is, making her calls and doing her sales transactions. She does customer service for a large global company. And you know what? She has a headset. And I'm like, I feel bad for her because she hates people. But
I was just going to say that. She's in customer service.
She's doing her job and typing. Again, understand your people. So who you work with is so important. And if you work with a Sue, you just have to love them anyway. You just have to say, it's okay, Sue, I still love you. You don't have to come in. Okay, unleash your strengths, blend with your passion. Who you work with is essential.
Yes.
And then number 4 is embrace adversity. Embrace adversity. I tell a story about racing. Like my dad was an Indianapolis 500 fanatic. We never, ever missed the Indy 500. I always went. I've gone to over 40 some races and I have so many stories. They're wonderful. But when I saw Lynn St. James go out onto the field as a female, I lost it. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, Dad, it's a woman. It's a woman. And that's what I mean by adversity is don't be afraid to do something that no one else is doing.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to follow inside the coloring book, inside the lines? No one says that you have to.
Yeah.
The way that I've evolved my company from the way that I bought it from David, it's not the same at all. I have completely embraced adversity. I've tried things, they've failed. Your listeners are women, but guess what? I love this quote. Well, it's a Wayne Gretzky quote. It's also Michael Jordan, but he made the most shots in the NBA, the most free throw shots. And do you know why? Because he took the most shots. Everybody says that quote, but I'm not afraid to take the shot. Embrace adversity. Do things that people say you can't do. If you feel passionate, embrace adversity. And I have a whole list in my speech of adverse things that have happened. But I'm telling you what, people have their own adversity in their life. And if you want to stay at home and you want to hide and, not try new things or different things, I mean, that's your choice. But I'm trying to give you the keys to have workplace happiness.
Yeah.
And then lastly, again, this is a race theme as well, because again, I'm an Indy 500 girl. The last pillar is to surround yourself with a race team. And what I mean by that is you have to have your people. Mm-hmm. And when I say your people, I don't care who it is. I mean, it's a group of people that are going to pump up your tires when they're low. They're going to run around your car. They're going to put gas in your car. They're going to clean your windshield. They're going to give you a drink. And then you go off in that car and you race. You got to have your little race team.
Yes.
And so something that I did years and years ago, this was almost 18 years ago, I developed a little race team and I called it Dream Big. And there were 4 of us. And we met once a month for 4 years. And you know what? That group of people were my oxygen. Yep. They were my therapists. They were my cheerleaders. And you know what? We were all accountable to each other. So whoever that is, and again, I'm not telling you how to pick that team, race team, but you know, it's just so important to have your people. You know,
yes.
I'm not going to tell you what happened yesterday, but I had something that I was not happy about that happened yesterday. I called someone on my race team and I said, please talk me off the wall, talk me off the edge, because I feel like jumping right now. And this person who's on my team, she's like, just take a deep breath. She's like, tomorrow's a new day. And you know what? Everyone needs that. And you know what? It shouldn't be your husband. It shouldn't be your husband.
No.
Why?
Yeah.
Men don't want to hear all the baloney that happens all day. They literally don't. They might say they do, but they don't. Like, have you ever noticed telling your husband a really long story at work, and halfway through they're looking at the TV or
they've lost it. Yeah.
So you need a race team that really can support you. You know, whether it be business, personal, a prayer group, whatever it is, but I just can't stress enough that race team is going to help everybody come together, and everyone has different situations. And I'm gonna weave in a Christian. I know you're gonna love this. Ready?
Yeah.
I wrote a website for my daughter who passed in 2001, and I wrote her whole story. And she had heart problems, so that's why Heart Association is my cause.
Yeah.
But what I wrote at the bottom of this website, and it's still up, it's like it's madeline.homestead.com. But what it says at the very bottom is it says, it's not if you carry a cross, it's when you carry a cross. You need to help others carry their cross. And do you know why? Because so many people helped me carry my cross when I was a mess, when I was a hot mess, and my daughter was getting open heart surgery and she didn't make it, and people babysat and they brought meals. And I just have to tell you, that changed my life. And do you know why? Because now I go and I take meals to people and I pray for people, but I don't know that I really got it before that.
Yeah.
So that whole thing about, you know, it's not if you will carry a cross, it's when you carry a cross. I promise you, Jill, everyone will carry a cross. And if you look around and see who's helping you, and you think to yourself, did I help them? Did they help me? And you're not doing it just to have someone help you, but it's just, that's why we're here. Right. I believe that's why we're here. We have to help others and they will help you. And it's all a circular situation.
Yeah.
But I do think that God is really wanting us to all love and watch out for each other.
100%. 100%. I mean, just relationships in general, just all these, communication, relationships, and loving one another, being generous. Like, I love that you, I did not know that about your daughter.
I didn't want it to be all about that, but it's a part of who I am now.
Yes.
Because that drastically changed my life. I mean, I was living a very nice life. I mean, I was living a very nice life, and perfect little house to, a boy and a girl, a husband, good career. He had a good career. Everything was just a happy little white picket fence house. And then, it's just, you just don't know what comes tomorrow. And you need to be prepared to be able to help someone else carry their cross, because it's going to be your turn.
Yeah. Oh man. It's so important. We could talk for a whole nother 4 hours on the power of community and relationships as well, because it's something that I get so passionate about. Even just like the other week, a lady wrote on our neighborhood Facebook page. She was like, would any women want to get together and just form a prayer, just community of women coming together and praying over our children? She's like, just in
Yes.
this craziness of our world right now, would anybody be interested in something like that? She just put it out there. And I was like, yes, sign me up. Like I worry so much about our children, but we just met the other day and we're just going to meet once a month and come together. And I was like, ladies, like this is more than just praying for our children, because what this is going to be, like you said, your race team is like, we're all going to have to carry our cross one day. There's going to be something coming along. And I'm going to have these core community of women that are right here in my neighborhood that I've lived here, 11 years? And some of them I didn't even know, and they're going to be a woman of faith that I can call up and say, this happened to my kid today, or this happened to me today, or this happened to my husband today. And so I just love that. I love that. There was a podcast I was listening to as well to talk about your race team. It was I think it was the Paula Fair show, but I hope that was her, or Mel Robbins. I don't know. One of those. But they were talking about the value of friendship. And the episode was so great. And it was talking about you need like 5 types of friends for like when you were, about to offload on something that happened. Like you want to call up that friend that's not going to just be like taking Melissa's side. She's actually going to listen to you. She might challenge you a little bit to think differently.
Yes.
So that episode was like, I was like, that's really good. Like you need a challenger in your friend group, the one that's going to challenge you. You need that compassionate one, that empathy one that will, at those times, you just need them to just listen.
Oh my God. You're nailing it. Yes.
Yeah, right? Like, so when you build that race team, I think you were kind of alluding to this, like make sure that those teams are like all different strengths that you can call on.
You nailed it. You know exactly, because you have different situations. You just do. You're right. And when you need somebody just to agree with you, you know who to call.
Oh, I know. I'm like, I really just need them to be on my side. Like, they're gonna stand up for Jill, whatever she says, and that's what I need today. They're
gonna be just a really empathetic listener. And again, I'm just saying, you really have to protect your spouse to not have to hear all of that. They can hear some of it, but I'm just saying they're not wired that way.
No, they're
not wired that way. They're just not.
There's so many times. Me too.
I know.
But I'm all about the details, and I'm like, I can just see when I'm telling him the story, I get all into all of it, and I can just see he's like, deliver the baby. Like, okay, what happened now? Like, what's the end result?
Funny that you say deliver the baby. Do you know what my husband says to me? He says, land it. Like it's a plane.
Yeah.
Land it. Just land it. You're talking too much. Land it. Wow.
Yeah.
So before I forget, I do have to tell you what my favorite quote of all time is. Okay.
And I want to hear
it. It's from Lynn St. James. Okay. You ready? Okay. And by the way, I did get to meet her in person, and I got a picture with her, and it was amazing. I think she thought I was like a crazy, crazed groupie. Oh my gosh, can I get a picture? But so this is her quote, and I literally have it on a Post-it on my computer because I love this so much. She says, and again, have you been to the Indy 500?
I have not. Isn't that crazy?
But I want you to imagine you're watching these car drivers, and they're going around. Okay, they're going around. And the ones that drive slow, okay, I'm not going to mention any names because I'm thinking of someone who I was like, they're driving so slow. They just want to finish the race because they're just driving slow. And you know why? Because they're trying not to get in a crash. They're trying to because if you finish, you do get money and you get recognized. But anyway, so Lynn St. James said, she says, if you have never crashed, you're not driving fast enough. Mm-hmm. That goes back to embracing adversity. Anyone that knows me, I drive fast and I've crashed a lot, but that is how you move forward. Because again, that person that drives around the racetrack as like a little turtle, and they're just trying to get done. I'm like, okay, you are so chicken and you are so not entertaining me.
No,
you need to, get around and go in first place. That's why it's so exciting. But
it's a race, right? We want to see the crashes. We want to see the fast ones win.
I don't want anyone to hurt, but again, one of my strengths is competitiveness. So you can see why I love watching the race.
My gosh.
But again, it was burned into my brain by my dad. This is what everyone in Indianapolis does. We're doing it. We're going every year.
Yeah.
So
I love
And
it.
I
I
got
will make
to
it one day. I
sit
am like, I cannot
next
believe
to
it.
Doug Bowles at the Speedway. And again, he thought I was a crazed lunatic because I was so excited to meet him. And I told him, you don't understand. We love the Indy 500 so much.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that analogy and that quote. And you're so right. I mean, if you're going to stay in the safe zone and live your life just always safe and secure, like it's going to be harder. I do believe like I think even Jesus calls us to do that. Like have unshakable faith. Like he's going to call you into some things that's going to feel really uncomfortable, really scary, but he's going to ask you to take that step. And when you do, like, yeah, you might crash, you might fall, but you're going to learn, you're going to get back up. I love that. I was just listening to another episode with Sarah Blakely, who I love, with founder of Spanx. And she showed a picture of when she started out. All the pantyhose in the line all looked exactly the same. They all had the same branding. It was nude. It was white. It showed a lady's leg on the front and just nothing stood out. So it's like, how do you choose when they all look the same? And she was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make my pantyhose cover red, bright red. And it showed a picture of hers. And I'm like, your eye is just immediately drawn to the red. Like, and so just like going back to what you were saying, like, don't be afraid to like color outside of the lines, get a little messy, be a little bold. Like, I love that. Love it. So yeah. All right. So this was excellent. This was so, so good. I thank you for these 5 pillars. And like you said, they're super digestible. Like these are things that
Easy.
I look at and I love. And I think, number one, unleashing your strength. Like I love the example of what you did or whoever told you to do that. Like the power of writing things down. I'm a big advocate of journaling because I forget stuff too fast too. But like it let you get out of your head onto paper. Like, what are the things that I love? What are the things that frustrated me? What are the things in my job that actually I enjoy and what drives the hell out of me? Like knowing, like being able to see that and like creating a little roadmap for you is huge. I did that as well. Like when I was so stuck in my burnout days and I knew God was calling me to something different, but I was like, what? I think sometimes we get so stuck on our roles and our identity. Like I was a project manager. All I've done my entire life was project manage and plan events. Like what could I possibly do? And like you said, I would have never saw myself sitting here having a podcast, doing life coaching, speaking on stages, like never in a million years. But I challenged the adversity. I got outside of my little crayon and decided to just lean in like to what did make me actually successful in my project management career. Was it that I was checking off a good to-do list? No, I can do that pretty good. But it was the communication, right? It was the gift of discernment, listening to others. So I always say I had a revolving door and I was always burnt out because I was never getting my work done because I was always the advice giver. Like, Jill, let me pick your brain. Jill, let me pick your brain. Like, but
So you
that
need to
was,
give people advice.
but that was the part that I loved. Like, I love that when people knocked on my door. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
You're like the pinnacle example of doing exactly what you love. And I know it can seem overwhelming to some of your listeners, but I had a boss who said to me, how do you eat an elephant? It's just one bite at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just one bite at a time. You just have to do digestible things every little day to try to build, and then you will eat that elephant and it'll be done and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I got it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
I couldn't be happier where I'm at right now. I love what I do. I'm doing the public speaking for fun. I donate my speaking a lot. I mean, I donate on International Women's Day. I've spoke like the past 4 or 5 years. I've spoken to the Purdue Women's Group, the Indy Chamber Women's Retreat, the One Zone Women's Retreat. I mean, I love doing it.
Yeah.
I love doing it. So feel free to contact me. But my website, my speaking is melissastjohnspeaks.com.
Yes.
And it's been very fulfilling, and it's really my give back because I love talking to young women. I like talking to any women, and by all means, men can join as well, because all these things are not female oriented. They're anyone oriented.
They are.
But
yeah.
But I just think that, like I said earlier, I just thought that all dads told their daughters this, and the more and more people I talk to, they don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
So what a blessing for you. So, well, thank you. This was such a joy to just learn more about you, and you're just such a light, and I could see that the day I met you. So I'm drawn to the light. I'm drawn to people that I can just
You know,
see have a heart for just serving others and encouraging others. And so I know the listeners today are going to be encouraged. For any of you that do feel stuck in your career, feel stuck in life, are looking for just ways to combat burnout and find happiness and joy. Of course, that's what I coach on, I speak on as well, but please don't dismiss our conversation today, and notice that Melissa here has, you know, been through a lot as well, and she dissected all of these steps for us. So reach out to Melissa. I'm sure you'd be open to just having a conversation with anybody. And if you are an organization or businesswoman that needs a speaker to come into your organization, like, reach out to Melissa as well. So I so appreciate you. I thank you for joining me today.
you're most welcome.
And is
Thank
that
you.
the best place, Melissa, for them to reach out to you, is just that website, or is there a better place to follow you on social?
That really is my speaking website if they
Okay.
wanted to speak somewhere. But I am on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
Melissa St. John. I'm on LinkedIn daily because
Okay.
that's kind of my roadmap. I connect with
Sure.
people. I mean, I'm doing commercial office spaces. We're helping people with surveys. I didn't even talk about that, but really
Yeah.
figuring out what do people want and
Mm,
need. Once you listen to your people and you get those surveys back, then you can implement some changes in the office. Oh, the lighting's bad, or this
right.
area smells outside the kitchen. So we
Yeah.
just did a survey for AES for 9 floors and 17 different departments and gave them a full blown report on kind of like what everybody said, and no one's names are on it. It's all,
All anonymous. Yep.
yeah. So, but that's the thing. If you're the leadership, you don't want to pick on someone and say, Jill said this, I'm going to fire her.
Right.
So there's psychological safety there.
Yeah.
But so that is relocationstrategies.com.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all of our services on there. But again, you can see how it's all combined.
It
It's like
is. Yeah.
where you work, who you work with, what you're doing, who you are, your race team, embrace of it. It's all connected.
All
And
connected.
my wish for your listeners is they can find peace and find what they love and be
Mm-hmm.
in a workplace that is happy and engaged
Yes.
and productive and profitable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, awesome. I'm going to include all those links. So LinkedIn profile, and then I'll have your relocation strategies and your motivational speaking website in the show notes below. So be sure to check out those and get in contact with Melissa. All right. Well, thank you. Until next time, everyone, go out, make it a great day, be you, love life, and rise up.